evening. Welcome to Question Your Perception Reality 2.0. I am your host, Bill Godin, joined, of course, by the engineer. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
Doing fantastic. We had a bit of big news this week, as I predicted on this show not more than 6 weeks ago. The reimposition of mask mandates because of the dangerous Delta variant.
The who what? Delta?
The Delta variant now.
Is that like the Delta Flyer from Star Trek?
I think it might be.
Nice.
I think it's right like it.
Mm.
So the CDC comes out on Thursday at 3 o'clock. The much-awaited CDC reversal of their mask policy. I waited for it all day long. I knew it was coming. It was just a matter of when. We saw cases start to rise throughout the U.S. I knew it was going to happen. I knew it was going to happen because the news started reporting that it should happen. What happened with their announcement was definitely a reaction to news stories that were already being reported.
So it's a tail wagging the dog kind of scenario?
That's exactly what I was thinking. Yes, It was a why does a dog wag its tail?
Mm-hmm.
And then because the tail doesn't wag the dog. It was very obvious that it was coming, and it took a matter of 3 or 4 days, because I saw with everybody's favorite epidemiologist, Dr. Anthony Fauci.
No, wait, hold on. Hold the phone.
Okay.
That guy is not trustworthy. Everybody agrees. If he says it, it can't be true.
Well, see, he says it, and then the CDC, they kind of go with it.
I don't like any of this.
I don't like it either, but it appears we have no choice in the matter.
I vote to abstain.
Okay. You know what? I'm going to vote with you to abstain also. I don't know what form that takes, but I'm going on vacation for 3 weeks, so I don't really care.
Okay, well, how does that work?
Oh, see, I'm going to go into a cabin in the woods and unplug and not do anything.
Cabin in the woods.
Cabin in the woods,
you're
yes.
doing it right then.
I'm doing it. Oh, I'm doing it way
Just
right.
Turn off your phone. Pretend it's the 1920s.
I am blocking every number in my phone except for yours.
Aw.
And my parents.
That's so sweet.
Don't
call me if you're in trouble.
I do what I can. If I'm getting mauled by a bear, don't call you is what you're saying.
Okay.
911
is who you want to call.
No, hold on. Let me put that in my phone. I'm going to forget that. My mind's way out of it now.
Just ask Siri. She'll help you.
Okay, good. Because, well, my Siri's a British guy, so I don't know if it's something different over there.
Whatever. You're gonna assume Siri's gender?
I am. That's a whole nother episode.
It's a completely different episode.
Well, we do what we can here. So in a stark reversal of their May 19th, I believe, announcement, fully vaccinated Americans, the vaccines that were pushed on us that we took, so to save everybody's lives, and to allow us to reassert our freedoms as United States citizens, those vaccines, if we've taken them, with a little bit of grain of salt, but we've taken them, and now we're told, you took them, but it doesn't really matter, because guess what? You got to put masks back on.
What if we came at this from a different angle?
Okay, let's check the angle.
What if this was a deadly virus? I'm just I mean,
spitballing here.
I mean, like, really deadly.
Oh, okay.
Right. So
not the 611,000 people they say died.
I mean, like, people are croaking in the streets.
Right. None of them. Yeah. Okay. I don't.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, though, isn't it?
I'm fresh out of that.
How do you enforce policy without fear?
Right. No, that's exactly.
And when nobody has it, and the people that have had it are like, okay, whatever. Sure, I was out for a couple of days. My kids had nothing going on.
As was I. I was out for a couple of days. I was on vacation when it happened.
It kind of sucked.
Yeah.
All right, I get over it.
And then I think I might have had it again. Okay.
I agree. I've had it twice, from what I believe.
Right, but I refuse. And here's what I'm telling people right now: if you're not deathly sick, do not get tested. It is the dumbest thing you could possibly do right now, because A, there's no cure, okay, and B, they're going to use you as a number to reassert their power. They're going to jack that number up to instill fear so they can reassert their power. That's exactly what they're doing all the way across the board. I've told people now for the last few months, do not get tested unless you are deathly sick. We want to make sure you don't have like Rocky Mountain spotted fever. Sure, I get it. If you're dying, we need to know what you're dying from. Okay, not that they've kept accurate numbers of those, but
This is not medical advice. We are not doctors.
okay, yeah, we should probably add that disclaimer.
I just did.
Well, thank you, sir.
I got your back.
Okay, we're gonna. I can't even post a link to a real doctor because, well, actually, kind of funnily, they actually agree with me. I met my general practitioner, and I talked to him about it, and he said, "Yeah, there's nothing to be afraid of here," and that was not more than 3 weeks ago. So, I'm not really afraid, but I'm a little mad about the curtailment of my freedoms.
Well, again, coming from if this was a real issue, here's the stuff I get. So if it was a real issue, I get that we're trying to figure out a problem and the variables are changing and we need to adapt. I get that. The only variable that I don't get is the fact that everybody's already got it and those people aren't counted, so that the numbers are so far off that it sounds worse than it is. That's what I believe. And unfortunately, I can't trust the government, who's lied to me multiple times, and I'll just have to make my own decision on what I see and what I think and all of the stuff that I've looked at. I get to decide for myself, which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really that is it a deadly pandemic or is it an inconvenient pandemic?
Oh, it's definitely an inconvenient
It's
pandemic.
very inconvenient.
Yes.
It's been inconvenient.
And here's where I say I'm not scared of the virus. And again, I've been vaccinated, so bring it on. Okay? Even if it doesn't work great, at least I have something. Okay? But I'm not scared because I can see through what they're doing. Okay? What we said right from the beginning is we thought they were skewing numbers. Okay? They're playing with the numbers to instill fear. So all you really have to do, and here's the kicker, is they actually put the numbers out there for you to see, okay? All you really have to do is have more than a 30-minute attention span and write something down and see where it goes from there. And just for proof, I brought up 3 different websites that list the number of new coronavirus cases in Pennsylvania. And I got 3 different numbers for the same day. And they vary everywhere from 563, okay, to 1,393. That is a huge gap.
A huge gap with the whole state as a pool.
Yes.
I don't know if that's like how many people are in this state.
About what is it? 13 million.
13 million. So 500 is really statistically insignificant, isn't it?
That's exactly right. But 1,300 is a lot more significant
than 500.
Yeah.
Not when you're using that many. Not with millions.
Well, they never ever show the population. Okay. They don't
but that's how I do it.
Right. That's how I do it too.
Right. So if we're talking about the population of this state, do the whole tri-county area or the tri-state area.
Okay.
New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania.
Right.
Let's do that. Add up all those numbers and how many people versus infections. I'm still not impressed.
And neither am I.
And then take that infection and take it out to the moon, because that's how many really. See, the thing I think, here's my opinion. I think that there's so many more infected people out there than. Nobody knows that they're infected. If their symptoms are minuscule, they're not going to the doctor.
Right.
I never went to the doctor.
Me either.
And that's the reality of the situation, is that the mass majority of people who are getting this are not going to the doctor. Those aren't being reported. I don't know if there's computer models for that, again, but are they being politicized? I don't know, and that's the problem. I can't trust you, so whatever.
The computer models are they're there. The computer models are out there. Are
they based on the exact amount of reported cases, or are they based on the assumed cases? Like, I assume a huge fucking number.
Their assumption, from what I can tell on the modeling themselves, is they're assuming that only 50% of cases are reported.
I think
that's
50.
double.
I think 50 is a dumb number. I would imagine 5 to 7%, if I had
Are
to guess,
reported.
are reported. That's what I would, because I
Now,
know people.
keep in mind, we have viruses all the time that people don't even realize they have a virus.
Think about every person you know that thinks they've had it, and how many of those people actually got tested.
Right.
And if the number isn't half, then that model's probably not correct.
Right, and that number is not half.
That number is not half.
No.
So again,
I'm at 3 out of 10.
all right, 30% is still is that's decent for me personally. Everybody that I've talked to, it's probably 1 to 2 out of 10. If I had to do the math.
The kicker is I don't know if they had COVID. Okay.
No,
we
don't know.
They had COVID-like symptoms.
They had something.
But if you even looking at Pennsylvania's Department of Health website, they even actually they have a place on their website for COVID-like illness. It's CLI, COVID-like illness. They actually did that.
You mean the flu?
Well, yeah, probably.
All right. Just, God,
now, here's the kicker too. We saw this big drop in flu cases. Okay, last year. I mean, the flu just wasn't around. Okay.
Okay. So it's eradicated now?
Apparently. So
killed the flu.
we're about ready to get into the same thing this coming fall. You know, flu season's right around the corner. Okay.
Corona season.
Corona season. Right. Well, that's what you're looking at. You're looking at a recurrent illness here.
Okay, so let's suppose this is the new normal. And
What, masks?
I didn't say masks.
They floated that already.
Yeah, coronavirus. No, that's not. I'm not. No, that's not. No, sorry. That's
No, they floated the idea.
no. The answer is no.
Back in 2020.
Yeah.
At the end of 2020, they floated the idea, and when I say they, I'm talking Dr. Anthony Fauci, Deborah Burke, Jerome, whatever his name is. I want to say something inappropriate. I cannot remember. What was he, the Surgeon General or something like that? And that Vivek Bhattacharya, whatever the hell his name is, he's another Surgeon General, I think. I don't even know. Okay, they floated the idea of having recurrent COVID precautions as a standard means of, fighting off the virus, such as having masks every fall and winter. Social distancing being reimposed every fall and winter to fight off this, recurrent illness.
The thing is, it's out, and you can't. The whole Pandora's box thing is, once it's open, you can't get it back. Put the genie in the bottle. That whole thing, it's out. Everybody who I talk to, who is all sorts of masks and vaccines and all this other stuff, thinks that we can beat this thing to nothing.
Right. Where does that thought come from?
I don't know where that comes from.
We have never done that.
That is so far out of the picture. But they think that the reason we haven't beat it yet, so that it's never going to be an issue, is that we're not listening. That's the logic I'm getting, and it's very
The
annoying.
logic is idiotic.
Yeah, childish.
We've never beaten a virus like that. Okay? It just doesn't happen. We've never beaten one quick enough to do it.
Right. It's out. It's worldwide.
Right.
Hello, pandemic.
Right.
And now it's an endemic. Congratulations.
Right.
Okay, now we know what it is. It's an endemic, not a pandemic,
right.
and we can adjust accordingly.
Right. But you have to stop curtailing freedoms in the name of people not getting sick. I mean, back in 2020, near the end of 2020, when Trump was being ousted from office and such, it was, hey, let's get your vaccines. We get to get those vaccines online. We got to masks, social distancing. We got to stop you from killing grandma and grandpa. Okay, so we did that. Illnesses took a tumble. Deaths took a tumble. I mean, even right now in the state of Pennsylvania, we're averaging 4 to 7 deaths a day from coronavirus. I can't believe someone's counting this. Okay, but that doesn't instill fear. So I would expect, regardless of how you model this virus, I would expect, just so we listen to what the guidance says, those numbers to climb. Because until those numbers hit a couple hundred a day, okay, it doesn't instill fear.
I don't know if a couple hundred a day is going to do it for me. Like,
It's not going to do it for you. It probably won't do it for me, but it will do it for people who are already on the fence to being fearful of it. And there's enough of them.
I guess.
I probably see one or two of those people a day, and you can usually tell them they're the ones with the masks driving alone in their car.
All I can tell you is I'm the kind of person who hears 500,000 people have died, and I have to ask the question: is that a lot?
I agree with
Right.
that.
That's a question that you need to ask. Oh, is that a lot? Is that actually true? What is the? I want to know all of the things, and nobody wants to put all the things on paper.
That's right. They don't want to do that because people are going to poke holes in that.
Dilute the message, reduce the fear, reduce the compliance.
Right. You. Okay, we can just sign off now because you just
Drop the mic.
Yeah, you just broke the show. That's what we need to do. If the minute you start fighting back and say you want information, there's a guy running for governor of Minnesota, Dr. Scott Jensen. I listen to him fairly regularly, his message on COVID. And his message is stop being afraid of it. Do what you do to stay healthy, okay? And treat this like any other virus. And for God's sake, stop counting shit, okay? Why are you counting it? You're counting it to get people afraid and to listen to you. Stop that. Because
that's all I see is it's a form of control, and if it was deadly enough, I understand that you'd want people to be adequately afraid so that they would take proper precautions and so on. I haven't been convinced that we're at that stage. Like I don't see it, and I know that I'm not. I don't see everything, but when I talk to people on the phone or I always ask, so. You know anybody who's died from it? No? Okay, great. Anybody that's like deathly ill? No? All right. Oh, this guy was pretty bad, went to the hospital, came back. All right. It's not nothing. I'm not saying it's a hoax.
right.
But
Oh no, it's not a hoax. I mean, they created the virus fair and square. We know that. We know that.
that's another can of worms. I don't know
Okay.
if you want to open up.
So, I'm pretty good with numbers. I'm kind of a math geek myself. Okay, and here's the kind of bullshit that we have to wade through, and I know how the law of averages work. It's very simple to figure out average. Okay, a set of numbers, and it's kind of right in the middle. The mean, that's the average. So if you have a 7-day average of 240 deaths a day here in the United States, okay, new deaths were 259, 7-day average of 240. Okay, I can see that being legit. Okay, whatever. Again, it sucks that that's the case, but it is what it is. So that was on the 7/27. So on 7/28, they reported the new number of deaths of 534. Yet the 7-day average dropped to 208. That means somewhere in those previous 7 days, we had a very small amount. So we're taught to instill this fear. And by the way, that the very small amount was on the 26th where we had 19. Somebody counted 19 deaths in an entire country, okay? And that's meant to control us. 19 new deaths from coronavirus countrywide, and this guided the new CDC announcement. Yeah, something's wrong with that. This is not it's not a fearful thing. It's not something to be afraid of. It's just a control issue. And we have to get to the point where we all realize that. Now, here's something I found kind of funny on again on this chart that's easily to pull up. I mean, you just type new PA COVID cases today. Just type that. As of 4 weeks ago, okay, we were at 611,000 people that died, cumulative.
Okay, in the United States.
In the United States. As of 2 days ago, we were at 610,000. You see the problem here? We went down.
I get that, but my problem is, do we believe the 600,000? If you're going by the guy who's in charge of the whole thing, who lies left and right, then I guess is that number real, and do I give a shit?
Right. That do we care?
Who do we trust in this? Wouldn't you imagine that if you're in charge of this important of a thing, that you think trust would be the most important paramount thing.
Right.
Because once you break the trust, you got to work so much harder to unbreak it.
Right. Well, see, you're right to a point, but at what there's a point in this country where we don't need to. They know we don't need to trust them anymore because they have absolute control. We've talked about power before.
Sure.
Okay, they have absolute power. They already have that.
They don't have power if a million people rise up and go knock on someone's door. There's nothing anybody's going to do about it. That's the real power. The power they have is in the illusion of control at the moment. The illusion of control is very powerful, but that's what it is. Like, we're all agreeing to do something, and by all I mean everyone in the United States. All, what are we, 300 million?
332 million. Yeah.
All right, 332 million people all agree that Joe Biden is the president. Some of us actually don't, but we all do, for all intents and purposes.
Thank you.
We all agree that, you know, things are bad and things are good and laws are good and government's good, and for the majority of the things it works and things are working, and there's food in the grocery stores, and we have turn signals we use in our cars, and all of these things that we do, we've agreed that are good and important, and that's how our society functions. But we're getting to the point where everything that I'm told by certain people from the government, and it's not a Republican Democrat thing, I don't care about that. It's a, if you're from the government, I need you to be beyond reproach, and we're not there. We're not there in a long way, and somebody needs to fix and heal the trust. And until that happens, you've lost me on any mandates or requirements or compliance. I'm not into it. I'm not down with it, and I don't care. And I'm sure I'm not alone.
Just on the Pennsylvania Department of Health website, and again, I check this pretty regularly. The first sentence: there are 1,223,390 positive cases of COVID-19 in Pennsylvania. That is a false statement.
1 million positive.
Yep.
Okay, so most of us have it, like I said.
Right. They're saying 10% of the people in the state have it right now.
Okay.
That is a false statement.
No, I'm sure 80% of people have it. They just don't know it. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying a lot of people have it. They don't know it. It spreads so far and so fast that it's just... Imagine if it's already been to the point where it's not hurting anybody for real, like more than a flu season, and we're still doing the whole hot potato thing.
Right.
You know what? For me, I'm just pissed because the lack of trust is frustrating.
Right. It is frustrating, but again, they don't need you to trust them, because again, they have control over you.
They don't have compliance in a large. There's a large sector that's non-compliant, and if they were more truthful, I think they'd have more compliance. That's my guess. It's educated guess or a hopeful guess or whatever you want to call it.
Okay, so I a little deeper dive into the numbers here. There's Pennsylvania Department of... This is coming right from the Department of Health. We have 12 million people in the state. Okay, 1.2 million people have tested positive. Okay, that's 10%. Almost 6 million people are fully vaccinated. That's half.
In Pennsylvania.
In Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Okay, so we are already at 60%. Even if we're only at a 50% positive, okay, 50% of the people who have had it have tested positive, which you think is way out of this left field.
We could agree to disagree on 30 maybe.
Okay, but let's say 50. Let's just
50.
say 50 because it's easy for me to do the division then. Okay, so that means 20. That means 20% of the population has had COVID and has natural immunity to it.
Is that true though? Again,
just like any virus, yes, you have natural immunity to a point.
So if I've had it twice, right?
Right.
And I've been vaccinated.
Right.
Does that mean I have superpowers?
You might.
Like, what does it mean for
when
real?
we leave the studio, jump off the thing. I want to see if you can fly.
If I'm immune for 6 weeks, right? Then
right.
Why bother getting vaccinated?
That's exactly right. And
if I'm immune for 6 months, why bother getting vaccinated?
Right. So, at this point, natural immunity is a better way to go. But in any case, we're at 70%. We're at 70% of the people are supposedly immune to this virus, and yet it keeps spreading. Well, guess what? That means something's not right. Okay? The numbers are not right. So that 70% are not immune, which means that either the vaccines are not working like they say they are. Okay? I don't want to hear this bullshit with breakthrough cases. Okay? Because these rare breakthrough cases, it ain't happening. Rare, severe breakthrough cases, okay, I can buy that. But rare breakthrough cases, no, that's not happening. Okay? It's not that. The vaccines are not as effective as they say they are. They went with a model population, and if you look at how they conducted these experiments, you can see right through their numbers. 90% effective? No, they went by people who didn't get the virus. That could have been luck. That could not have been. I mean, it could have not been the vaccine. It could have been I wasn't exposed to it. They did a double-blind test. That's
Right.
what they did.
All right, so I've got this website up here. It's
Okay.
got the cases and deaths for the average for the week
Okay.
per 100,000.
Mm-hmm.
And I can scroll around all through the state, and it's 2, it's 6, it's 4, it's 1, it's 0. The deaths stay at 0.
Mm-hmm.
The cases go from nothing to basically nothing. And so, where's the emergency? I'm just scrolling around here. That's all I'm doing. So,
Right.
somebody let me know what am I missing?
Exactly
Please
right.
tell me, what am I missing?
Yeah. By far, if you write it in the
Oh,
comments.
it's coming. Winter's coming, guys.
Right, and
winter is coming.
I have to wonder if that wasn't the big push here. We have to get ready for schools to go back in because you know what? Kids are a vector. Well, 6 months ago, kids weren't a vector. Victor. Sorry, I have to do it.
I'm just disgusted at this point. I really, my level of disgust is far greater than my level of fear.
I really thought once Donald Trump was out of office, I wouldn't have the amount of headaches I have in a day trying to figure out what I'm going to talk about. And then you just watch this unfold, okay? It is a blatant grab on your freedoms as people, as citizens of this country, in the name of public health. The problem is public health isn't being endangered, okay?
Right.
It's just not.
According to everything I see with my eyes and ears, we're all fine.
Right.
This is fine.
Right. The danger is what they put down on paper or what they put over the air. That's where the danger lies.
You're gonna kill grandma. Grandma still lives. I don't know.
I know,
Somebody's
right?
grandma died. Yes.
Okay, and that sucks. We don't want that.
Someone's toddler died.
Right. We don't want that
Someone's-
either.
Someone's uncle died. I get that. Every day, a minivan flips over with a pile of kids in it.
That's tragic.
What do you want me
But
to
we're
do
not
about it?
we're not out there fixing potholes.
I put my seatbelt on. I try to drive responsibly.
I go to
What else
speed
do you
limit
want?
sometimes.
What else do you want?
Right.
You want me to wear a helmet in my car? I better shut up.
Yeah, right. I mean, you drive a bike, dude.
Well, yeah, sometimes. but
They said you don't. Okay, listen. They mandated seatbelts for again. Here's a mandate for you. They made seatbelts lawful for me in a car with 4 wheels, totally enclosed, and a motorcyclist does not have to wear a helmet. The dumbest thing I have ever heard.
well, I guess I don't have to wear a helmet.
Right, you don't have to.
I do, but I don't have to. Yeah.
Right? What sense does that make?
In New Jersey, you have to. New York, you have to.
Oh,
Here,
okay.
in Pennsylvania, do whatever you want, I guess. But
Until COVID's being talked about.
you need a mask, but not a helmet. I like
Right.
that. So
What kind of dumbness is that?
I think their logic is the mask will hurt other people, whereas the helmet only hurts you. So I think that's their logic. Whatever. If that's I guess that. But if you're gonna go back to it, anybody who has AIDS, right?
Mm-hmm.
At the moment, you can infect someone with AIDS in California or I don't even know where else, knowingly have it and infect them with it and not face any consequences.
Right.
Which sounds insane. Like that sounds really wrong,
Mm-hmm.
right? But if that's the case, then why is this any different?
That's exactly right. But
Someone let me know on that, because we haven't cured either one, and both are deadly. So,
we treat AIDS very effectively now. I mean,
okay.
they have commercials. They have commercials once a day that I see a commercial for an AIDS drug that'll drop your viral levels so low that it tells you, it actually promotes you having sex. Okay?
That doesn't sound good.
Yes, it does. It does.
I mean, it sounds good to somebody with AIDS, but
Bactarvi, I think is it Bactarvi, is the name of the drug. Okay, it promotes you having the ability to have sex without the fear of spreading a virus. Yet that's the primary way that the virus is actually spread.
all right. Well, if that's the case and we've licked it, well, that's probably.
Oh, hold on.
If we've gotten it out of our system, no.
Hold on, delete, back that up,
I
rewind.
need to back up. Buddy.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, if that's the case, then great. But for all intents and purposes, you know,
It's incurable.
everybody has the flu. Everybody's got a cold. Everybody's now got the coronavirus. It's a part of our society. We got to live with it. How people don't accept this at this point, that's really the trick, isn't it? Is it why haven't people accepted this as reality?
Right.
People will die, yes, and it sounds cruel. I don't know. I don't want people to die. That's not my intention.
That's not my goal either. I mean, I don't sit there going, oh, okay, I hope 20 million people die this year. No, I don't care about that. It's not what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say at some point we have to be able to govern ourselves in the name of public safety. I'm not allowed, okay, to go around hitting people on a sidewalk with a baseball bat, okay, because it endangers people.
Unless it's a Black Lives Rally matter.
Oh, Jesus. Yes, I suppose
you're allowed.
I suppose you're right with
'Cause
that.
If you're not going to enforce the rules and you're not going to prosecute the offenders, then I guess it's allowed.
Right.
So,
if you're
It's hard to argue with that, huh?
if you're in a Trump rally, you're hammered.
No, that's not the same thing.
Oh, okay.
But if you're rioting because you feel like it, and
Oppressed?
you're setting fires on whatever, and
Because you're
nobody-
oppressed. Because you're black. I don't know.
I'm not saying you're black. I'm just saying if you're a rioter and everybody's okay with it, and they're going to let the people out of jail with no charges, then I guess it's acceptable.
But Sasquatch Man's still in jail.
No, that's fine.
No, oh, that's fine.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's fine.
Yeah, that's. You know what? Here's my take on that. I might have said it already.
You might have said it.
Yeah, if you're gonna do the I'm gonna liberate the government thing, then take the lumps when you get put in prison. That's part of the Nelson Mandela thing. Just go to prison and do your thing.
Go all the way.
Yeah, take it all the way.
Let's do it all. Let's go all the way.
Let's go.
Oh wait, hold on. Oh, Jesus.
We are not insurrectionists. We don't condone insurrection.
Right, but they stopped too short. That was the problem.
They never were insurrectionists.
No,
in the
I
first place.
agree with that. I mean, did you see? Speaking of the insurrection from January 6th, did you see the Capitol police officers testifying? It was some of the best theater I have seen since Dr. Fauci said we need masks.
Oh no!
It was phenomenal. The one guy started crying, saying that he thought he was in Fallujah again.
He had some PTSD.
Well, my problem with that is Fallujah is in Afghanistan or Iraq or one of those countries, and there were guns over there going off. There were not a whole lot of guns being fired at the Capitol that day, but
yeah.
I maybe he saw a lot of Arab people or something.
That's really my problem, though. If there was gonna be, an insurrection, I think guns are kind of like, especially in this country, are
They're
kind of
necessary.
like a big part of the recipe.
Right.
Like, the recipe for insurrection does include weapons.
Well, the Capitol police officers that testified said they were bats. There were bats, and some people had tasers.
No, I mean like weapons.
Wait a sec. Are you minimizing what they said?
Like shotguns and pitchforks.
It sounds like you're minimizing it.
A spear made out of wood. Like
Well,
something
now, see-
deadly.
right,
Are you going to
that's-
kill somebody with a taser? Maybe.
Right.
That's
If they have a
big-
heart issue.
It's a big question mark on the taser.
Right. Yeah. It looked like the only people who had gun were Capitol police officers.
Okay.
So I could
well,
definitely see why they were scared. It's much like when you're being stopped by police officers. The people who have the guns are the police officers, usually. Okay,
Usually.
so that's who you need to be scared of. Not necessarily the guy in the car with a phone trying to video record it.
Yeah.
Just saying. Putting that out there. On a lighter note, hey, we almost a week through the Olympics.
The what?
The Olympics are still going on.
Okay. Like
See-
summer, winter? I guess summer.
Summer Olympics, yeah.
All
It's
right,
like
I'm a little
90.
out of the loop on
it's
the
90 degrees.
and where the Olympics are in
Tokyo.
Japan?
Yeah, they're in
Okay.
Tokyo.
All right. I
Which
think I
is-
heard something about that.
Which is saying they're seeing record high temperatures over there,
Okay.
and get this, they're seeing record high coronavirus cases.
Well, I mean, those athletes do like to
They do a lot of things over there. Ooh, naughty.
like bunnies. I hear.
I did hear that. Yes,
They made cardboard beds to discourage the fraternization.
they did. It
Like
was
that's
just-
classic. What the
I-
hell?
and that's what I love watching stories like that. It's like this is
Right.
great.
But put it this way: so a cardboard bed is going to discourage a gymnast who can do it from the rafters upside down. Come on.
Oh, speaking of gymnasts, we had one of our gymnasts, a pretty good gymnast. Her name is Simone Biles. You know, a multi gold medal winning gymnast.
Okay.
She dropped out of. She was a heavily favored to win the all around gold medal in the gymnastics.
Okay.
And after the first event, she stumbled and fell.
She
Okay,
fell.
She fell.
Did she hurt herself?
She didn't hurt herself, but she apparently hurt her head, like mentally, and
Oh.
decided she was done. She walked off.
You mean just like she quit?
quit.
Oh.
She quit. The United States was going for the team gold medal, and after the first event, she quit. She walked off.
I think the Olympics is kind of a big deal for people, right?
Hey, that's what I was always told.
Well, so I mean, I can understand that the pressure is too great.
Oh, that's kind of what you do, though. I mean,
Well, as a world class athlete, I think the pressure is kind of part of the job.
I know back in the day when I was a world class athlete,
Yeah, me too.
that never ever occurred.
I was a world class athlete in bed.
Were you? Oh, you stud.
I know.
Okay, so she quits. She quits on her team, and she said she had a case of the twisties.
The what?
The twisties.
mean?
Apparently, it's gymnastics talk for not being in your right head and being kind of like not in the moment, if you will.
Well, I saw that movie, right? So
The twisties.
no, Rocky, right? Remember when Rocky laid on the mat and just like had a tantrum and walked off?
I remember that. Yes.
I remember because it was so good to see him just get into a good headspace.
Yes.
And
That's
not,
funny that you
and
said
not
headspace.
not overcome any obstacles or problems or like I think that's
Was
what
that Rocky 7?
I don't know. It's the one with the Russian. It's the glorification of mediocrity, which I have a problem with.
Uh huh.
So if you're gonna just meh out, like all right, I is that where we're at now?
I think it might be. And of course, because we're so afraid in this country of hurting somebody's feelings, that's where we're at now. We are celebrating this team member, okay, walking away from her team to get in the right headspace. That is her words.
I know it's not life and death, but just suppose an EMT quit on the job, seeing someone in need, and just quit. Is that cool? What if there was
I
a
don't
cop?
think it's cool.
What if there was a cop that saw a bank robbery in progress and said, "You know what? I'm not in the right frame of mind to help." I'm just putting it out there. What is that? Is that acceptable? Like, where do we because they're athletes and what they do doesn't matter? Is that what we're saying? Because I don't think that's true.
I don't
right?
think it's true either.
So, what's the message here?
See, I'm not a big fan of team sports, okay? Being pushed down my throat as a way of fostering your different positive attributes, okay? Because if that was the case, this girl undid everything I was told in the last 40 years.
Right.
This one girl she undid everything. And the next time I hear a coach or a guardian of some kind say, "Listen, You got to be one with the team. No, apparently you don't. Apparently, according to a world-class athlete like Simone Biles, you don't, because it's not good for you.
Right. So I guess we're gonna redefine what a team member is and what overcoming adversity means, or is it important? Like, imagine if everybody just quit when things got tough, or you stumbled. Oh well, I guess I just can't go to work today because I lost my sock. Like, put your foot in the shoe and walk yourself to work, or drive yourself to work. Like, I don't know what message are we sending to people?
Right.
If we're gonna glorify that kind of behavior, I don't know. Like, am I saying that someone is a mental disturbance worse than a physical one? I guess that's what we're kind of coming down to. So if
I see it as the same.
It's the same. So if it is the same, if she broke her leg, we'd all be fine with it.
Well, she can't. She's physically unable to compete then. If she broke her leg,
she's physically unable to compete. If we're treating the brain as a physical thing, then she's
mentally unable to compete.
Her physical brain is broken and she can't compete. I'm not saying she's broken. I'm just saying that's the argument that we're going with here.
It really better be the only argument, because that's the only thing that makes sense.
If she's broken and she can't compete,
right, and then you have to walk away. You have to do it then.
All right.
Okay, but that's where we're at. We have to be either. It has to be either one way or the other. We can't have it both ways.
So,
but these are world class athletes.
If we're gonna glorify fragility, then I guess this is what we get.
I guess you're right with that.
And I know that if it was me, I wouldn't get that luxury.
No.
I don't want to make this a man-woman thing, but if a guy did that, what's the opinion? Is it good or bad? What is the
overwhelming opinion is that she did a good thing.
She did a good thing. Okay.
Yes.
So now put it in a man's shoes, right? And I try not to be sexual. Put a man in this. So I can't do it. I don't feel like it.
Right.
He would get roasted.
Absolutely, because he's a man, big, strong, manly man.
Let's just be clear on that. The little girl can get away with a lot.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely
and
right.
And people don't want to put it in those terms, but that's the truth.
Right. It's not as cut and dried as they want to make it seem that it is.
And she's a gymnast, so I'm assuming she's not like 6'8".
No, she's like 4'2".
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, I mean, legs like, oh my god, like she's one strong girl.
Yeah,
okay.
They gotta be. Gymnasts got these muscle fibers that are just ungodly.
I need like some of those in my arm or something.
Yeah.
I mean, it's insane.
Well, you live for that, and that's what you get.
I guess, and that's exactly they live for it, they strive for it, they work for it.
Yeah.
And now again, the days of these being amateur athletes that are not being compensated, that's long gone. Okay, these athletes are being well compensated. That is their career. They even term it that on several occasions. That she has 4 gold medals in her career. Her career is being a gymnast. Okay, so that is her chosen profession.
Sure.
Okay, she quit. She quit on her chosen profession. She should never be allowed to do it again. I mean, that's what I would. I mean, if you quit your job right in the middle of something, you're probably not going to work in that, especially in the area again.
Well, I think with sports it works a little different. I think if it's a team, you have to make the team, and if she's capable of making the team, but not making, like if she could do everything but perform when it counts,
right?
She still would make the team, according to the whole. I think how that works.
Yeah, unfortunately, that is how that works.
I think that's like you'd still make the team, but then you won't play the game. Like, do you just you won't play the game, so we're not letting you on the team? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's how it works.
I don't know. I mean, you take a look at what I'm a big NFL fan. Okay, and the big story around the NFL right now is Aaron Rodgers, the quarterback of the Green Bay Packers. He didn't want to show up. He wanted to be traded. Blah blah from the Packers. And,
is this another dude throwing a tantrum?
Yeah, he was, and they offered to pay him the most money ever. Okay, for a professional athlete, and he turned it down. He said it wasn't about the money. Okay, so like, what? First of all, the season hasn't even started yet. He skipped the mandatory mini camp. Okay, he turned down $28 million a year, I think, and his reasoning was, well, they didn't ask my opinion on something. As the face of the franchise, okay, first of all, stop. Okay, because the face of the franchise are the guys buying the tickets that pay your salary. Okay, so stop with that. As the face of the franchise, he felt that he was not
Entitled.
Yeah, he felt entitled for sure, but he felt that he was not listened to, that they didn't ask his opinion, and he felt that was unfair. So he demanded to be traded.
That whole word "fair" is really not for adults. That's the problem.
It's not for athletes for sure.
It's not for athletes. It's not for adults. Fair is one of those words that should just not be used.
I mean, I'm confused how $28 million a year entitles you to anything right now. Just do your freaking job. I mean, and people are still gonna look up to him. I mean, I'm being soured on professional sports right now, and I didn't think that ever happened.
I feel you. I mean,
it's ridiculous.
Anything that gets political is gonna be unbearable.
It is, because I mean, I have enough political stuff with stuff that's actually political.
Right.
And my escape is to watch sports, especially football. And right now, I have to watch football and listen to this garbage. And it's going to be the same I believe at the start of the season, they're going to play okay, hold on. Have you heard of the Black National Anthem?
Oh, shit.
There's a Black National Anthem.
I've been really busy with work, and I don't look at my phone a lot. So when you say stuff like the Black National Anthem, no, I haven't.
There's a Black National Anthem. I haven't heard
words?
it. I don't know.
Words?
I haven't heard it yet.
Oh, well, I mean,
but
I don't want to just play it. That's probably a bad thing.
Oh, you have it up?
No, I don't.
Oh.
I don't want to play it.
Because I want to play it.
I don't want to play it.
I don't know what it is.
I don't
but
think so.
there's a Black National Anthem, and apparently at the beginning of every NFL game, this season coming up, is they're going to play the regular national anthem, the one from America.
So the white one goes first?
The white one, I don't know if it goes first or not.
Look, you can twist anything. Oh, the whites go first, and then the blacks.
Well, isn't that the way? Sorry, no, sorry, no.
You're doing it wrong.
No, my bad.
If you want to be funny, you can't be racist too.
Oh,
but I can be racist, not you.
Well, you are not the right color to do that.
The double standard is real, or just maybe a triple standard now.
Right.
But either way, like the argument is, if you're, where do you even go with this? Like, right. I don't know. Where does this all? Where do we end with this?
Why? But we have a black national anthem.
I remember what this is all about.
Okay, what's that?
Dividing people into groups.
Yes.
And controlling them.
Yes, and
there it is.
You know who's doing the dividing? The people who are complaining about being divided against.
Right. Well, yeah. If you want an inclusive togetherness feeling, 2 national anthems is probably not it. But maybe we should go up to Canada and see how it's working for them with their 2 double languages and whatnot. Do they have 2 anthems? I don't think they have.
I don't think, no, they don't.
Maybe they should have 2 flags. They just invert the colors.
I know, they only have one of those. I checked that too.
Oh.
Ooh, that's good.
Oh, I'm going to have to patent that.
Ooh.
Inverted flag.
Invert the colors. You should do that.
Non-whites have an inverted flag.
Non-whites?
I don't know how else to say it without sounding terrible.
I mean, non-whites isn't sounding great, but...
The real problem here is that I hate racism, and I want everybody to be treated equally based on the content of their character. And I understand that there's been some historical inadequacy or inequities.
Absolutely.
And at this point, we got to figure out what's the agreement, right? If we're just going to go hog wild and just do whatever we want, and I don't know what the agreement is that makes everybody come together as one. Is there some sort of healing? Like what is it? What is the reparation that you want? What's going to make you not have the grudge, if that's a thing? Like, what are we doing?
See, and reparations have been talked about, especially monetary ones. But at some point, you have to realize that no reparation would suffice, because the minute there's a condition to the reparation is what I talked to somebody about this last week. There's a condition to the reparation, and that condition is once you have the reparation, we are now on equal footing.
So no more
complaining.
No more equal like
you just can't
all
do
that
it.
Equal housing opportunity stuff goes away.
Has to go away.
And all of the what do they call that?
BET? Oh, sorry.
Not BET.
I just wanted to say that. That was a thought forming in my head.
Affirmative action.
Yes, it goes away.
Affirmative action goes away.
Yes.
You know? It's too ingrained in the way people are living now. I don't know. We've caused a huge problem, and then we made it worse, and then there we are. That's where we are.
The solution at this point, the solution was worse than the problem. Okay, because it creates more of a problem. But I really think that the people who are promoting this as being such a problem they have a vested interest in it staying a problem. I don't believe, I haven't believed, and I never will believe that institutional racism exists.
Currently
exists.
Right. Currently.
Well, institutional racism absolutely did exist.
Right.
I mean,
at some point it did.
You have to be a little bit kind of goofy to think that it didn't. But I don't think it currently exists, okay? But there's a vested interest by a group or groups of people to say that it still does. Because that interest is they get something out of it.
The only institutional racism that I could even point at would be stuff like the crime bill that's still kind of valid, where they're locking up people for drugs.
Okay.
And marijuana, especially.
Right, and that was geared toward non-whites.
Yeah, that whole kit and caboodle that they came up with, and the stuff that Kamala Harris did with keeping people in prison for prison labor, like all of that stuff sounds a little systemically racist to me. Yet nobody cares about it. So let's be honest with each other, and if you see it, let's call it out. But if it's not convenient, then we're gonna ignore it.
That's right. You're talking about the convenience of it.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at Kamala Harris, who is black. She's part black. Okay, the fact that she's promoting institutional racism, but then coming out against it is kind of hypocritical. Which is to say, that's kind of what the government is. All government officials are like that. They're hypocritical. They serve their own means, and that's what they do. I mean, you can't really go much beyond saying that it is never going to get better, because the people who should want it to get better don't want it to get better, because they can't.
So what we're agreeing to right now is that COVID and racism and politics are all about control and keeping everybody in the dark and confusing everybody and dividing everybody is how they maintain power.
That's exactly right.
Okay.
100%. So
right.
We rambled on for 54 minutes, and you summed it up in about 12 seconds.
Oh, thank you.
You are very good at this. So we are coming to the end of our time for this week. I am on vacation, I think I said at the beginning of the show, for the next 3 weeks. I hope to be back in the studio at the end of August. But until then, please don't overreact to the news. Go about your day. Realize that there's nothing. Stop being afraid. Stop being afraid. Stop worrying about hurting other people. Help people. Be nice. Be polite. Do that. I do that on a daily basis, and then I make fun of them. But stop. The minute we're afraid is the minute we cede control of ourselves, and you can't do that. You can't do that and expect good things to happen. We need to be in control at all times. We can't give that control away. So all I can say is stay healthy and be safe and be happy. Have yourselves a great night.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, click the bell, comment below.
Okay, have a good night, guys. Thank you.